it looked like Caitlin Clark has purchased a soccer team. For this one here, we got to go all the way up to...
Caitlin Clark is at it again. After dominating basketball and taking over golf, she's now making her mark in soccer, but not as a player. Caitlin has joined the ownership group of a women's soccer team in Cincinnati.
That CCFC nickname's about to take on a whole new meaning because Caitlin Clark is apparently part of an ownership group trying to bring an NWSL team to...
If that doesn't shout game changer, I don't know what does. While Caitlin Clark is making big moves and changing the game for women's sports, Angel Reese is probably watching closely, trying to figure out how to keep herself in the spotlight.
You know, Caitlin Clark never ceased to amaze me. This is another amazing milestone for the young rookie, and I'm here to tell you, she, my friends, is a proud owner of a...
Let's face it, Caitlin Clark has raised the bar so high that Angel Reese might need a ladder just to reach it. Stay tuned, because I'll be sharing the full story behind Clark's soccer team investment and why this could completely reshape the future of women's sports.
The biggest figure in the history of women's basketball. And I do think when it's all said and done, Caitlin Clark will become the most influential figure in the history of women's sports, period. I've said it before. I think she's the next face of basketball, maybe already is the face of...
Before we dive into Caitlin Clark's role in women's soccer, let's take a look at the league itself. It's called the NWSL, or National Women's Soccer League. Out of the 14 teams, 4 are linked to Major League Soccer teams, the same league that features stars like Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez. Now let's talk about that $100 million expansion bid for a team in Cincinnati. This is no small change. It's a big investment, and with Clark involved, she's bringing her winning touch to a whole new sport.
NBA star and West Des Moines native Caitlin Clark is joining an effort to bring a pro women's soccer team to Cincinnati. FC Cincinnati issued a statement confirming that Clark is a part of the plan. Leaders say her passion for soccer and commitment to elevating women's sports make her a vital part of the bid to become the next NWSL.
This deal is a game changer for women's sports and is sure to energize the entire soccer community. Remember when Caitlin Clark brought so much energy to basketball arenas, turning the WNBA into a must-watch event? Well, she's about to do the same for soccer.
Clark is at that level, and the only way I think that she might have a leg up on LeBron is because she has elevated an entire...
Picture that same magic in the world of soccer. Caitlin Clark's star power is already making a splash, and the Cincinnati team hasn't even played a game yet. Social media is buzzing, with fans so excited they're acting like Clark herself is about to score the winning goal on the field.
This is big time, big time news. So it looked like the Cincinnati.com is letting it be known. Caitlin Clark has joined FC Cincinnati NWSL.
Meanwhile, the silence from the WNBA is almost laughable. They haven't said a word about how Caitlin Clark set the golfing world on fire. Social media is buzzing with her golfing success, yet the league that benefited so much from her record-breaking rookie season is acting like she's invisible.
Throughout the year, WNBA players were demanding to be given credit for elevating the league. Angel Reese claimed that she was elevating the dump. They wanted us to believe that the WNBA was exploding in popularity. They wanted to keep all the credit for themselves while downplaying the impact of the only star in the league, Caitlin Clark.
Could it be jealousy? Maybe they're afraid of losing their brightest star to another sport. The WNBA failed to protect her from on-court bullies, overlooked her role in boosting the league's popularity, and now they're refusing to celebrate her success in other sports.
This event, you see the kind of noise that this is making. You see that this is trending on social media. You see that SportsCenter, Bleacher Report, all of these places, every media outlet is covering this, and you don't say anything. That's what we were talking about this whole season. We were correct. The fans that were saying that the WNBA seems to be trying to quiet the noise.
That's right. The WNBA is clearly not thrilled about Caitlin Clark's success, and it seems all the major analysts agree. But here's where things get interesting. Women's soccer is about to get even more competitive. Angel Reese, maybe in an effort to keep up with Caitlin Clark's growing empire, is stepping into soccer ownership herself. You heard that right. Angel is now a soccer team owner too.
For y'all haters coming in the comments, we all know Angel Reese bought a soccer team too. Now, how we know Angel Reese didn't throw the alley hoop to Caitlin Clark? Let her know, hey, you know what? This might be a good profitable investment for us young rookies.
What makes this even more interesting is the contrast in how these two athletes approach their platforms. Caitlin Clark is building an empire, making one smart move after another.
Yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
If she would have left it with what she had to say right before the last couple of words, I would have been fine with it. She's embraced the villain. She understands social media. She's done quite well. She is literally cashed in. But her attention, her notoriety is based.
Caitlin Clark is proving that her influence goes far beyond basketball. By expanding into soccer, she's positioning herself to become a major force in multiple sports.
The thing when it comes to this is like a lot of these celebrities, a lot of sports people are getting involved as like part owners of teams, and I think it's a really good thing, like long term, to see like a bunch of different people having ownership and seeing.
Angel Reese has her supporters, but let's be real. She doesn't command the same level of respect or admiration as Caitlin Clark. That's just the truth. And let's not forget the big difference. Caitlin Clark actually knows soccer.
Now, a lot of us have been talking about how annoying it is. Every time someone mentions Caitlin Clark, they feel like they have to mention Angel.
Not enough people are talking about Caitlin Clark's high school soccer highlights. Check this out. She's got 3 defenders on her, yet she still manages to score. Pure class.
People are talking about Caitlin Clark's high school soccer highlights. I mean, check this out. She has 3 girls on her, and she still buries it home. Absolute.
Before Caitlin Clark became a basketball sensation, she was a soccer star in high school. This isn't just a random business move. It's more like a homecoming. Clark knows the game, the culture, and the fans.
Like I remember in high school, I played soccer and I was on varsity and I loved it. But my teammates would get mad because I would go and practice and work out and do basketball after school right before we had our soccer games, and I couldn't believe that I was doing that. So I eventually had to give up soccer, even though I loved it. But I think it was just the will I had to want to get better at it. Like I loved just practicing it, and I think at times that's not something everybody really likes to do or wants to do or is passionate about, something they love. And for me, that's what told me like I wanted to have a future.
She's great at soccer, basketball, and even golf. Seriously, is there anything Caitlin Clark can't do? Her college days show that deep down, she's always been a soccer fan at heart.
Maybe breaking news, you're starting a USL championship team in Iowa. Any idea of bringing Caitlin Clark in on that ownership?
So Caitlin went to the same high school as my kids, so I know Caitlin. As a freshman in high school, was first team All-State in soccer. So the better question may be, do you want to bring in Caitlin to play for our women's team if and when we announce that? Caitlin right now is kind of busy, so I don't know how that's going to fit in, but she's a fantastic soccer player. Certainly having Caitlin as an owner, great woman, fantastic person. So
she's not just throwing money at a team for the sake of it. Caitlin Clark is investing in something she truly cares about.
On Thursday, an ESPN article conveyed that, quote, Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark is part of the ownership group trying to bring an NWSL expansion team to Cincinnati. So the article went on to say Cincinnati is one of a handful of finalists bidding for an NWSL expansion team that is expected to be awarded before the end of the year.
In comparison, Reese's ventures often come across more as desperate attempts to stay in the spotlight, rather than genuine passion projects.
Caitlin Clark, it does appear that she is going to be investing in some teams. And look, is she the first WNBA player to invest in a soccer team? No. Will she be the last one? I'm pretty sure Angel Reese has as well. Obviously, this becomes a bigger deal when it is a former, supposedly D1 level soccer player in Caitlin Clark that is the player.
The ripple effects of Caitlin Clark's move are already being felt. Cincinnati is buzzing with excitement, and the NWSL just got a huge credibility boost. Clark's involvement is sure to bring in new fans, sponsors, and plenty of media attention.
National Women's Soccer League franchise is receiving a boost from arguably the most popular women's sports star in the world. Caitlin Clark, a guard from the Indiana Fever, and the league regaining near unanimous, which we're still looking for that one hater, Rookie of the Year, is a member of the ownership group attempting to bring an NWS franchise to Cincinnati. ESPN.
It's the kind of star power the league has been craving, and Caitlin Clark is delivering it effortlessly. Meanwhile, Angel Reese is left trying to prove she's still a draw, but the reality is, she's struggling to stand out with Clark stealing the spotlight.
Caitlin Clark's our Indiana Fever's part of the ownership group trying to bring an NWSL expansion team to Cincinnati. Cincinnati's won a handful of finalists for the final expansion team and expect to be awarded just before the end of the year. The team will begin play in 2026, joining a previously announced expansion team in Boston, bringing it to 60.
They're at it again. And by there, I mean they who are members and leadership of sports other than basketball showing admiration for Caitlin Clark. It was golf.